Hi, I'm Jen Van Amerongen. This is Torah Exchange, and this week's Parsha is Parashat Naso. Parashat Naso discusses the concept of Nazir. A Nazir is a person who takes a neder in order to abstain from drinking wine, coming close to a dead body, or cutting their hair. Parak Vav Pasuk Bet states, Daber al bnei Yisrael v'amart alehem, ish o isha, ki yafli lindor neder nazir lahazir lahashem. Speak to the children of Israel and tell them, when either man or woman shall make a special vow, the vow of the Nazarite to separate himself to Hashem. The Kliyakar asks on this pasuk, why does the pasuk need to explicitly note that a woman can choose to take a neder to become a Nazir? Usually all negative commandments in the Torah apply equally to men and women, even if they are just stated in the masculine. He answers that explicitly including the women is related to the idea in Chazal that the reason why the Parsha of the Nazir is juxtaposed to the Parsha of the Isha Sota, the adulterous woman, is because anyone who witnessed the trial of the Sota would take a neder to become a Nazir. When people would see the licentious behavior of the Sota, they would become a Nazir to swear off drinking wine to ensure that they would not come to sin in this way. The Kliyakar says that this is the why the women are mentioned separately, because it is more likely that a woman would take on this vow for this reason, because women are more easily affected by wine than men. He goes on to say that this is why the pasuk says ki yafli, to separate himself to Hashem, in the masculine. A woman takes the Nazir vow in order to distance herself from sin. It is more likely, however, that men would take this vow for a less noble reason. There's a view in Chazal that a Nazir has actually sinned, and that is why they must bring a chatat at the end of their Nazir. Additionally, there's a statement of Chazal that one who has taken a vow is compared to one who has built a bama, a personal and forbidden altar. The Kliyakar connects these two ideas and says that the reason why a Nazir is called a sinner is because by taking the neder of Nazirut, it is like he has built a bama. A Nazir takes extra restrictions upon himself, things that for the average person are permissible. By doing so, he separates himself from all other people. He does so with the intention of making himself distinct and aloof. The Kliyakar explains that he has not just built a bama, but it is as if he had built a bama to himself, to sacrifice to himself. It is self-serving. And this is why the pasuk only says that the man separates himself. The women will take on these extra restrictions to avoid sin, but it is more likely that the men will take them on as a way of raising themselves above others. I think that the Kliyakar's explanation can be understood outside of the gender distinctions that he draws, and applied more generally. The Rambam in his Hilchot Nedarim explains, the one who takes vows in order to avoid sin is praiseworthy. An example of this is a vain person who decides to become a Nazir. If a person takes a neder in order to improve their behavior or distance themselves from potentially dangerous behavior, they are praised. The Rambam also qualifies this point, quoting the Ma'amar Chazal, the one who takes vows is as if they have built a bama. If they take a vow in order to better themselves and increase their commitment to Hashem and His mitzvot, they are praised. But if they do so with the intention of making themselves look better than everyone else, it is as if they have built an altar to sacrifice to themselves. It is self-serving and a sin. This idea can be applied in our own lives. Our Chachamim discuss whether or not one is allowed to take on a chumrah. They conclude that if one takes on a chumrah in order to avoid a sin that they are worried that they will commit, or have committed in the past, they are viewed favorably. If a person takes on a chumrah, however, in order to make themselves appear more pious and stand out, it is as if they have sinned. We must always be careful to consider why it is we make the decisions that we do. Are we doing so in order to earnestly come closer to God, or in order to get the attention of others? This is the lesson we can learn from the Nazir. If a Nazir takes this vow in order to stand out, they are called a chotah, a sinner. But if the Nazir takes this vow in order to better themselves, then the pasuk says that they have Nezer Elokav al Rosho. The crown of Hashem is upon their heads.